And joining me is Tony Thomas, who's an author, journalist and writer on Quadrant Online, where he's written 2 columns now on Pascoe's legacy. Tony Thomas, thank you so much for joining us. Look, the elites haven't given up on Bruce Pascoe, right? For all intents and purposes, still their favourite Aborigine, even though he's got no Aboriginal ancestry. But he's on the board of two organisations. One is Twofold Aboriginal Corporation, and the other is Black Duck Foods, which picks up the costs of his farm near Malakuta. I'm not so sure if that's going as well as he would have hoped.
Well, you won't believe this, Andrew, but the Black Duck Foods, which he set up as a charity to relieve him of all costs and problems with his farm, it's all run through the charity, has creamed in $2.2 million in grants and donations for the past 4 years, and it's burned through almost the whole of that, and it's only got $200,000 left of that money, that free money, and within 6 months I'd say all that'll be gone because it's losing money at the rate of about $250,000 a year.
Yeah, but Tony, this surprises me, of course, because we saw a lot of media organisations, including the ABC, including Channel 10, promoting the seeds, the native seeds that came from his farm. He was going to show that Aborigines really used to be farmers, despite every history book basically telling you they weren't. And they cooked the world's first bakers of bread, and he was going to bring the seeds back into fashion. What happened?
Well, his actual sales from the farm in the 4 years have only been about $40,000. That's not much of a return on $2 million that they've spent. And in the last year, the total farm output was about $14,000 and the costs were about $40,000. So in effect, it's entirely a token sales exercise, and he makes a little bit of money from tourist stays there at $800 a night per person and $500 for welcomes to country and things like that.
Well, it turns out, of course, that the native seeds do not have anything near the return per acre, in terms of calories that you would want to sustain a population. Guess what? It seems that Western ways did turn out to be the best after all. But for all this, Tony, we can laugh, we can snicker and all that kind of stuff. We can have the Schadenfreude, but basically, his influence lives on in our museums. Explain to me what you saw when you went to a museum in Adelaide.
I went to the Discovery Centre in Glenelg, a little bit out of town, because it was a wet day and we were wondering what to do. And there we found an exhibit which went like this, that at the time of invasion, Aboriginal people across the continent had homes, they farmed the land, they cared for crops, and they were advancing with technologies. Now, this was unattributed. It's by the Corner Nation, this exhibition, but it's straight out of Dark Emu, and it's just so ridiculous. But all the same, that display centre won the most highest prize of the Galleries and Museums Association in 2020. So that's how this stuff gets swallowed. It's just unbelievable.
It's extraordinary. I don't know how often we've gone through, you, me, others as well, Peter Kelly, so many anthropologists, that Bruce Pascoe's history in Dark Emu, bestseller, taught in schools, is actually largely bogus. That he talks about towns of up to 1,000 Aborigines. There weren't any such ones. He doesn't have the evidence for them. He cites passages that don't exist, and he said they were farmers when in fact they were hunter-gatherers. But yet this thing gets a prize from this museum thing, association representing all museums. But that association seems to be on a mission to spread this false gospel, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's a huge thing. It was only when I began looking behind the curtain on the website that you began to see how all-encompassing this drive by the museums and galleries to indoctrinate everybody to the total black armband vision of history. In 2019, they embarked on a 10-year plan to turn every museum, every gallery, to the best of their ability, every school, TAFE, university, local, state and federal governments, and what they call the whole cultural centre, into this black armband waving school of history. And also it's full of all this ludicrous woke stuff. There was one curator who said museums need to be repairing the harm done by white supremacy, colonialism, patriarchy, heteronormativity, don't ask me what that is, ableism and capitalism. So that's the agenda. It's the total left thing, and thank heavens the referendum failed, because if it had succeeded, all this stuff would now be galloping through the system. And in addition, they want to push this line that the Aborigines were big on advanced technology. So apart from all what they want about past injustices and dark histories, they want to have museums showcasing Aboriginal science and technology, and this even includes science museums that are now meant, according to this Galleries Association, to flavour all their science stuff with Aboriginality.
Tony Thomas, thank you so much for your time. If people want to read more of this, because your essays have been fabulous, they should go to Quadrant Online and look up your name. Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much.